I went to college for 6 months. You ready for this? John Jay College of Criminal Justice. It's not a joke. You can't make this up. I was there for 6 months, or maybe a year. Do you remember, Laura? It was about a year. I had 2 semesters, whatever that meant, 6 months each. And I had a job, which was in a supermarket, Dan's supermarket. They had about 11 stores in Brooklyn. And one of my jobs was, go store to store. If one of the stores needed bananas, they'd send me to pick up 5 cases, or if another one needed something else, I would do that. But on weekends, there was a lot of deliveries. So I would load these deliveries up on the van and take them to the houses. On that route of deliveries that I did, I meet this older woman. She was, at the time, we both lied. I was 17. I told her I was over 18. And she was about 32 or 33 and told me she was 29. You could see her down there at the bottom, or also up there with the Grim Reaper, Greg. And that, unfortunately, the one just to the left was what happens when you're in that life. She didn't age very well, unfortunately, and a lot of people don't that are in that life. So we wind up having an affair. At first, I didn't ask any questions. Again, a lot of guys my age wouldn't have asked questions. Then when she started talking about her kids and stuff, I found out she was married. And she told me he's never home, not to worry, we can have, this is okay. And it went on for 10 years. Yes. Well, just about, maybe a little less. But in the process, I find out that her husband is Greg Scarpa. Again, I don't know how many are familiar with him, but he had the nickname the Grim Reaper. And later on, not that early when I first met him, but later on he told me he stopped counting at 50 bodies. So he was probably like Al Capone, maybe worse. After about a year and a half, I'm getting closer to him. He's starting to put me in businesses, legitimate businesses at first. And he wants to see me do well because, the wife, Linda, had told him several times that this is a really good kid. He's loyal. He helps me out when I can't go shopping, little things like that. She starts telling me that we need to tell him. I said, oh, yeah? I said, you want to get me a bulletproof vest first? I mean, I'm not going to tell you. How are we going to tell him this? So she says, no, he'll be okay with it. He loves me so much. And anyway, again, young, naive, I continue the affair. Eventually, I always knew that it would come to a head at some point. But after about 18 months or so, we used to go to the club together every day, a social club to open up. I would be with him 12:30. We'd be the first ones to get to the social club. And on the way, he starts talking to me about he's seeing a change in me, that you're not the same Larry I met, because I was getting very nervous. I was getting paranoid. And I was I was feeling very guilty because we were becoming friends. And he was trying to help me in businesses and things like that. So he starts telling me that he knows that I'm adult enough to have this conversation, and my heart was beating because I knew where he was going. And I always thought of that part in The Godfather where Michael Corleone convinces the other guy to admit he did something. He says, just don't insult my intelligence. I said, someday he's going to do that to me, and I'm not going to admit it. I'm still not going to admit it. So he walks me into the club. We walk in. We sit down at the desk. And he's continuing this conversation. And I'm looking at the closet behind me because I had heard stories about, up to this point, I wasn't involved in anything drastically bad. And I remember stories about somebody sitting in that seat, not giving the right answers, and getting carried out in a rug or whatever. So I'm waiting to hear that door open, but it didn't open. He tells me, I know about you and Linda, and I can understand how it happened, and I'm just being quiet. He tells me that as long as it stays just between the three of us, we'll both stay alive. So my answer to him was, I don't know where I got the nerve. I says, you know what, Greg? I says, only an idiot wouldn't see what was going on. And I have a lot of respect for you, and I know you're not an idiot. He busted out laughing. We walk outside. He's got his arm around me. And from that, so now the next 8 years or so, this relationship went on. I wound up finding out later on that he had another family in New Jersey. So he was living a dual life. Wow. He had a third wife